Have you ever felt like your money is just vanishing? You work hard, the paycheck hits, and then poof, it's gone. You aren't alone. In fact, most people in the West save less than 7% of what they earn. That means for every $100 you sweat for, only 7 stay in your corner. The rest is drafted away by 1,000 invisible leeches before you even have a chance to breathe. You feel like you're running a race on a treadmill that's set just a little too fast, and you're starting to stumble. You look around at social media and see people your age buying houses and taking vacations while you're just trying to figure out how to stop the bleeding. But what if I told you there's an ancient secret, a method used for generations to turn a simple kitchen staple into a treasure chest for wealth? Today, we're going beyond basic math. We're talking about the rice jar strategy. It is a philosophy of biological survival turned into financial engineering. It's not just about getting rich, it's about becoming financially bulletproof.
In many Eastern cultures, rice is more than just food. Each grain is seen as a seed of prosperity, a symbol of growth, stability, and nourishment. Your rice jar isn't just storage, it's an energy reservoir for your home's abundance. But here's the modern twist. To make this energy work, you have to pair it with intention and discipline. As financial expert T. Harv Eker says, the fastest way to do well with money is to manage it well. If you show the universe you can handle $1, you'll eventually be trusted with $1 million. Imagine a man named Lee. The year is 1926. Lee is standing on a rain-slicked dock in a city where he doesn't speak the language. He has exactly 3 things: a spare shirt, an address he can't read, and a hunger in his stomach that has become a permanent resident. Lee finds work in a steam-filled kitchen. He works 18 hours a day. He sleeps on a thin wooden board. His hands are perpetually raw from boiling water. At the end of every grueling month, Lee receives his meager pay. He takes 80% of it and sends it away. He doesn't buy a new coat even when the winter wind turns into ice-cold needles. Why? Because Lee isn't living in 1926. In his mind, Lee is living in 2026. He is looking at a great-grandchild he will never meet. He is imagining a girl sitting in a quiet university library, her hands soft because his hands were burned. He is the root. He is the one who agrees to be buried in the dark, cold dirt so that 100 years later, a tree can touch the sun. This brings us to the core of our strategy, the 6 jars financial management system. This is the mechanical engine that makes the rice jar philosophy functional in the modern world. Let's dismantle and rebuild your financial life jar by jar. Jar 1, the necessities, 55%. This is the soil. It covers your rent, your bread, your heat. Many of you are screaming right now because your necessities are 90% of your income. That is the fragility zone. When you are in the fragility zone, you aren't living. You are waiting for a disaster to finish you off. The rice jar strategy dictates that if you cannot hit 55%, you must aggressively audit your life. Is the car payment a necessity or a status scrap? Is the premium housing a necessity or a comfort trap? The goal is to drive this number down so the other jars can breathe. Jar 2, long-term savings, 10%. This is your storm shield. Most call it an emergency fund, but the rice jar mindset warns us that what we name, we invite. We call this the peace fund. This is the money that ensures that when the car breaks or the roof leaks, your heart rate doesn't even move. It is the cost of absolute serenity. Jar 3, play, 10%. This is the spirit fuel. If you do not feed the beast will eat your progress. You must spend this money every month on something that makes you feel wealthy. A high-end meal, a massage, a concert. This prevents frugality fatigue, the #1 reason people quit their financial journey.
Jar 4, education, 10%. This is the sharp edge. The best investment is the space between your ears. Books, seminars, mentors. In the 3-generation rule, the first generation builds the wealth, but the second generation must be educated enough to multiply it. If you stop learning, your wealth stops growing. Jar 5, financial freedom, 10%.
This is the sacred seed. This money is never spent. It is invested in assets, stocks, real estate, businesses that produce their own rice. This is the golden goose. You never kill the goose, you only eat the eggs. Over decades, this jar becomes your sovereignty. Jar 6. Give, 5%. This is the flow. Wealth is like water. If it doesn't move, it becomes stagnant and toxic. Giving reminds your subconscious that you are a person of abundance, not a person of lack. How did Chinese households save a staggering 36% while the West struggles at 7%? It's the invisible money trick. They treat their savings as an involuntary tax. Before they pay the landlord, they pay the family bank. They embrace the philosophy of use. A shirt is a shirt until it is a rag is a rag until it is dust. They hate waste because waste is a leak in the energy of the home. They kill the status ghost, that whispering demon that tells you to buy things you don't need to impress people you don't like. In the rice jar strategy, looking rich is the enemy of being rich. True power is the quiet confidence of a full jar, not the loud display of an empty one. Let's look at the deep math of the legacy leak. If you spend just $7 a day on a habit you don't truly value, a convenience meal, a premium coffee, a subscription you don't use, you aren't just spending $7. Over a 100-year timeline at an 8% market return, that $7 a day becomes $68 million. Every time you reach for your wallet for a scrap purchase, you are deleting a $68 million future for your descendants. This is the vivid ancestry counterattack. You are no longer saving for a stranger in the future, you are protecting your own bloodline. You are becoming the root. To anchor this, you must perform the physical ritual. Find a jar. It must be beautiful to you. Put a cinnamon stick inside for the fire of momentum. Put a silver coin at the bottom for the root of stability. Every time you cook, every time you handle money, look at that jar. It is a psychological anchor. It tells your lizard brain that the now is not as important as the always. You are breaking the hyperbolic discounting glitch that makes humans act like prey. You are becoming a predator of opportunity. We must also implement the 7-day root challenge. Day 1, the identity audit. You stop being a consumer and start being a founder. Day 2, the scrap execution. You find 3 leaks in your bank statement and kill them. Day 3, the resale seed. You sell something you don't use to plant your first $100 in jar 5. Days 4 through 7, the no-spend sprint. You prove to yourself that you are the master of your impulses. This isn't about the money, it's about the sovereignty of your will. Think about the 3-generation rule. The first generation, you, eats the bitterness. You drive the older car. You live in the smaller house. You study while others sleep. You do this so the second generation can be educated and the third generation can be free. Wealth is not a collection of things, it is a collection of options. It is the ability to say no to a toxic boss. It is the ability to say yes to a struggling friend. It is the peace of knowing that even if the world falls apart tomorrow, your family is standing on a foundation of stone, not sand. The weight you feel in your chest right now, the stress, the fear, the exhaustion, that is not a burden, it is latent power. It is the energy required to break the soil. Every time you choose your jar over a scrap purchase, that sting you feel is the sound of a seed cracking open. It is the sound of a dynasty beginning. You are not late to the game. You are the architect of a new one. Your journey to being financially bulletproof starts with a single grain of rice, a single jar, and the courage to manage exactly what you have today. Do not wait for a rainy day to start. The storm is already here for those without a plan. Be the root, build the fortress, fill the jar. Your descendants are waiting for you to begin. Leave a comment below with your affirmation. I am the master of my money and the architect of my future. Seal the deal. I'll see you at the finish line.